Alright, we are back with another graphics card teardown, and today is a special one because we are tearing down, yet again, the FX Quadro 4800. The FX Quadro 4800? The Quadro FX 4800. My bad, sorry. This card was the first card I tore down on my channel, first video I even posted, and it did not have good video quality, it didn't have good didn't have good lighting, it didn't have a good camera angle, etc, etc. And it is actually my most popular video on my channel somehow. So I'm going to make a revised version with a better camera angle, better instructions, better everything. I'll probably have better instructions. Instructions will probably be the same. Alright, so what you're going to need is your tiny screw set, only for the M5 screw bit, of course. Set that off to the side. You will need a regular Phillips head screwdriver, just in case. You don't actually need it for this, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. You need a small Phillips head screwdriver, that you will definitely need. This is just for me, I recommend like a little parts tray, whatever, a screw tray to put all your screws in. This is something I got for Christmas. It's magnetic, you can put stuff on it. So, something like that would be nice, and I recommend a plastic pry tool. You can use a metal one, but it's unsafe for the graphics card. So I would recommend a plastic pry tool. So starting off, we are going to take our graphics card, flip it on its back, and we're just going to start unscrewing all these screws. And as far as I know, because of all these being spring-loaded, normally you would be worried about cracking or chipping the die, which can end up killing your GPU very rarely, but it can. I don't think you have to worry about that in this situation. As far as I can tell, the weight is, or the tension is distributed so evenly that even taking them out, it's very unlikely you're gonna hurt the die. Plus, there's no die to actually hurt on this card. It has its own metal IHS. Just going to continue taking all these off. I originally had made that first video because I had bought one of these cards a long time ago and couldn't figure out how to take it apart. And annoyingly, there was no teardown videos on the internet. Nothing. So, I took it upon myself to get a camera, get a mic, even though it really wasn't a mic, and do my own teardown. So now normally this pops off. I'm sure it might for me. No, it actually won't. So this is where you take your plastic pry tool and you insert it right into here. There's a little lip, and then you just sort of work your way around. You're going to do it on this side as well. Well, that was my own fault. You do want to be aware this does help cool the graphics card. So this it does have heat pads on it. But that's how you take that part off. That is, I believe, the hardest part out of everything, out of the entire teardown. My bad, I'm sorry. Just woke up. So next, actually, I don't think we even need to take those off. We do not. So next, we're gonna go to the side here, and we are going to take off these screws. These two screws right there. And we will set those aside. The card should, and it's going to be a bit stubborn too. So a lot of these cards that you're going to tear down have really stubborn thermal paste. and the thermal paste will glue basically the cooler to the PCB together. And there's a way to do this, and you just sort of like wiggle it back and forth like this, just being very gently. If you hear anything clanking together, stop. Also, I should point out where your fan or connectors are. There are 2 on this graphics card, and though you cannot see it very well, there's one down in there, so be aware there, and then your fan connector is right here. So just be aware of that. There's 2 connectors in there, one for the S-Video and one for your fan. So now we're just going to wiggle it back together until it just comes up like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to flip it over, because I find it easiest. And I will be right back, because I forgot one more thing. This is entirely optional. I highly recommend it. Is a pair of small tweezers. I always forget the tweezers. And this is good for removing the fan connectors and fan connectors in general from these cards. And what you want to do is you take your little tweezers and you just sort of push and wiggle up. Like that. You don't want to grab by the cables. That's a very bad idea. That's how you break fan and S-Video cables. I've done it already once. I regret it ever since. I've regretted it ever since. So now that we've done that, there's more heat pads on the front here if you so to replace those. You probably will if you have a graphics card this old, unlike me. I already did it a long time ago. So now, to finish up our graphics card, I'm going to take the M5 screw bit, and again, our small Phillips head screwdriver. There's a screw right here. Oop. Right there. And then we're going to take off the DPI thing. I always do that. You don't have to. But, like, can't call it a full teardown if you don't fully tear it down. We'll just put you with those 2, because you technically belong with them. And now we will take this and just there's 1. There's 2. That comes off like bing bada boom. We donezo. Not with the entire teardown, sorry. You probably wish you were, after hearing my voice for so long. So now we're going to set that off to the side. We'll set the PCB off to the side. We'll bring the cooler back. And to, oh geez, I just moved everything, didn't I? I am so sorry. This is what I get for not having a proper, smaller chair. So, there's a couple ways to take off this cooler. I'm not going to do it, because it's going to be a pain for me to put back together. And it will be a pain for you to put it back together if you do it. Hey, you know what? We'll take it off. So, there's 1 screw here. There's 1 screw here. There's a screw here. And there's a screw here. Taking all these out takes off the, like, metal mounted cooler and reveals the copper. I believe the copper plate, or the copper plate fused to this. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've done this teardown. I have no script for this teardown. I was like, you know, I'm going to be doing 3 videos today. I really don't have time for a script. But hey, this is going to be better than the old one in every way, shape, and form. Hopefully. Hopefully. Hopefully I'm more hilarious than I was before. Oh, you're a stubborn son of a gun, aren't you? I definitely didn't take you apart before. This is going to be such a pain to put back together because of the thermal paste. I don't want to clean and reapply thermal paste because that thermal paste is honestly really good still. Alright. how do you have screws on the front? No, you do not. What you doing there, friend? Why aren't you coming out? Oh, there you might go. Come on. Come on, friend. There must be hidden screws or something. No, maybe not. Maybe I am just an idiot. There's always a possibility. There we go. Come on. You were literally coming out a minute ago, and now you're not. Oh, there is definitely a screw holding that down, it seems like. You know what probably makes sense? Is probably that the, is it the fan holding it? It's probably the fan. This happens sometimes with a lot of cards. Is it the screw fans in here? There's 3. Will hold down the cooler. Yeah, that's what's happening. I felt it immediately come up when I started taking this out. So you will have to take the fan out. I'm trying very hard to not get thermal paste on my table. That's why you never force your cards and things. And I don't know where my 3rd screw went. It's somewhere. I'll find it. Oh, I see it. There it is. So that's the full cooler. You can dust it out. So you choose. Last time I did this, I dusted it out quite well. And this is an interesting thing that not a lot of people know about this card. Is that this little metal part right here is actually an effective part of the cooling system. But now you have access to your entire heatsink. That's the S-video connector I was talking about. I should look into getting a new cable for it, because this is the one I broke, I think. I broke the S-video on one of them. Not that anybody uses S-video anymore. But that's it. That is the entire teardown for the Quadro FX 4800. I love this card. I've always loved this card. I've never had any gripes about it. It's been a lovely card to have in my collection, and I think this will be the last video I make on it finally. But I hope this helps somebody, and I hope you guys have a great day.